What's going on, and welcome back. So I got this dry erase board here, and I made a list of 15 games that I want to purchase before the end of the year, right? Why 15? Well, because it's manageable. 15 games is manageable. If I would have made a list of like, I don't know, 30 or 40, that would be a little bit harder to do. But 15, I could do it, right? Not only that, most of the games on this list are 20 to 30 bucks. Most of them are 20 to $30 games. So it's very doable, right? And these aren't games that I'm purchasing right now that are gonna go to the game pickups video next month. No, these are just games that I've been wanting, that I want to try to get this year. Not try, get. So I kind of like broke it off into separate categories, I guess you want to say. Switch and PlayStation. Not Switch 2, because I don't have a Switch 2. I am getting one this year. It's in the works, but there's no Switch 2 games on this list. And these are all physical games, okay? So I'm going to share this list with you, and as I'm getting these games, as I'm purchasing these games, we'll mark them up, and we'll see if I can complete this list before the end of the year. I think I can complete this list way before the end of the year. I want to try anyways. So last year, I had a list of games that I wanted in my head, but it was almost impossible for me to get any of them at all, because I mentioned that I had this electric pole that I had to pay for, right? Now I'm going on vacation in July, so after this month I'm gonna have to kind of like, I'm gonna be like not able to really purchase any games because I have to start saving all my money. Now, I'm not saying that I'm not gonna get any games. I'm pretty sure I am. Maybe one a month or something, but for the most part, I gotta go dry for the next 4 months. But let me share this list with you so you can see, kind of get an idea of what games I want to pick up this year. And I know some of you are probably like, who cares? I care. Maybe some of you care, right? Maybe there's games on this list that maybe you have that, you can tell me if you like them or not, or, maybe there's a game on this list that, oh, I've never heard of that. I need to check it out, right? So, The Last Faith. Oh, and before this, I'll put a picture somewhere up here so you can see what game I'm talking about. No gameplay footage, but just a picture. First game on this list is The Last Faith. It's kind of like and I'm not going to explain what all these games are. I'm just going to tell you what it is. But The Last Faith is I think it's like a Metroidvania type of game. I think so. Anyways, The Last Faith, The Messenger, and these are all Switch games. Neva, Stardew Valley. Yes, Stardew Valley. The Outer Wilds, Shady Part of Me, Gris, Salt and Sanctuary, and Slay the Princess. So these are all the games that I have on the Switch side. Now on the PlayStation side, I have Hades, Sea of Stars, Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, Terminator 2D No Fate, Journey, and Inside and Limbo. It's like a double pack. Now, most of the games on this list are, if you haven't noticed, indie titles. Why indie titles? Well, dude, I really enjoy playing indie games. I have quite a bit. I don't mention it, but I have quite a bit. I really enjoy them. A lot of them are really relaxing to play. They're not too intense. And they just, I don't know. There's something about indie titles that they hit different than these AAA titles. You know, these small teams create these games and they put a lot of heart into these games, and you can tell, right? You can tell when you're playing these games. For example, if I want to sit down and I want to play a game that's not too intense and I just want to relax and enjoy the game, Stardew Valley. That's why I have Stardew Valley on here. I've never played a farming game before. Would you consider it a farming simulator? I don't know. But I never played like a farming game before. I know of it, and I've seen like gameplay of it, and it's very relaxing. And I want to sit here and play something like that, right? Something just relaxing to chill out with. Now I know there's a lot of games, really good indie games that aren't on this list. But I haven't stopped purchasing games yet this month. So maybe when I do the game pickups video, if you see a game on there that's not on this list, that's why. Or if you see the game pickups video and you see what I got and the game you're thinking about is still not on this list, please let me know. Especially if it's an indie title, let me know. That way I can check it out and put it on the list. You know, if you have a couple of good indie games that aren't on this list, let me know and I'll put them on the list and I'll try to get them, right? So, speaking of indie games, there's a few of them on that I want. But here's the thing. These games are going for $100 to $150 a piece, right? And I'm not saying that I can't afford them, but something like that would take me a little bit to like really like save up for, right? That's why those games didn't make this list. Just because, like I said, I'm trying to make it manageable for me to be able to purchase all these games. You know, and these are all physical, and I understand that you can get, you know, one of these games, like for example, you can get $50 physical, or you can get it digital for $10. You know, if there's a game that a physical copy exists of, I don't mind spending the money to own it physically. That's what I'm saying, right? Unless, for example, back in the day, way back in the day, when I first discovered Castlevania Rondo of Blood, when I first heard of it for the first time, and this was about 9 years ago, I saw it for the first time and I was like, oh my god, dude, I didn't know. And I love Castlevania. I was like, I did not know this game existed. I had never heard of it before. It's like, I want to have it, I want to own it. I don't have a PC Engine, but I need to have this game, right? So I go to eBay, and to own a physical copy of Rondo of Blood, and like for the PC Engine, was $300, and it's still $300, if not more now. So I was like, dude, back then, my income back then was nothing like it is right now. Back then, I could barely afford to buy a meal at McDonald's. So, Raw No Blood, to own it for the PC Engine was way out of my price range. That was not gonna happen. It's still not gonna happen, but I was like, oh my god, dude. And it kind of bummed me out because that was a Castlevania game that I've never played before that I wanted to play, and I just so happened to look on the Wii shop, and they had it for like 20 bucks. That's manageable. So that's how I played it for the first time. I played it on the Wii. Now, you know, I own it for PS4 or whatever, which is kind of funny because I wouldn't spend the $300 to own it for the PC Engine, but I spent 200 bucks to own it on the PS4. The only difference is I got it for the collector's edition, right? The game's still sealed. It's still sealed. I haven't even opened the seal, and I probably never will. Another good example for collecting physical. This isn't like a collection video or anything, but I'm just giving an example of, like, there's a game that I wanted to add to this list, but it's never going on there, ever. And that's for What Remains of Edith Finch. It's a game that I've been wanting to play, but I know that there's a physical copy of this game, right? So I was like, I'll just get the physical copy of it instead of downloading it. I could only find it on eBay. And everybody that's selling them, for the most part, they're all sealed. And that game is going for $350 and up. Because I didn't know it's considered a rare game. Somebody had it graded for like $880. And then somebody was selling a used copy for like 250 bucks. No. You know, if I'm gonna spend, dude, 250 bucks for a used game, I can almost complete this list in one shot. Almost. So I was like, no. You know, if I'm gonna spend $350 on a video game that's sealed, that video game is gonna stay sealed. It's just gonna become a collector's piece. So it's like, it's not even worth it. It's not even worth me buying it if I'm not gonna play it. I buy games to play games. I don't really buy them to keep them sealed. I know what I just said about this game, and I'll explain this one in a minute, but that's, you know, paying 350 bucks for a game, that's where I have to draw the line. Shit, $200 for a game, that's where you draw the line, right? What Remains of Edith Finch? Let's say the used copy, 250 bucks. I can get it at the PlayStation Store. It's on sale right now for $5. $5. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna purchase it today. That's when I find it completely acceptable for myself to buy digital. Right? I'm not gonna spend over $250. I'm not gonna spend $200 on a used game. Hell, not even on a new game. And I know, but this is a collector's edition. And people will say, why did you spend $80 on this game? I bought the same game digital for $5. Yeah, but I own this one. You don't, right? And they'll make fun of you. They'll be like, you spend all that money, sucker, to own it physical, and I didn't. Yeah, well, I can afford to collect this way, right? So you collect your way, I'll collect mine. And yeah, I know I spent $200 for this collector's edition. You can buy just the game itself. It goes for over $100 bucks. Why is this game never gonna get open? Because I already own it digitally. That's why I can still play this game. I already own it digitally, so there's no need for me to break the seal on this one. Dude, but look at this thing. Look, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful box. You know, I got Castlevania the Anniversary Collection. The game's still sealed. Will I ever open it? Probably not. It's been sealed for this long. Might as well just keep it sealed. If I want to play any of these Castlevania games, I still can. I got them on the NES, you know, or whatever. But if I want to play them in the Anniversary Collection, just download it. I already own it physically. So, you know, there's a point where you got to say, it's okay. If you're a physical collector like me, you know, there's got to be a point where you got to be like, okay, it's okay to buy the game digitally. You know, especially if it's over, I'm gonna say if it's over 150 bucks. I'll spend 150 bucks on a game. I don't care. To own it physically, I'll spend that kind of money. Might take me a little bit to get it, but I don't mind spending that kind of money. But there's gonna be a point where you're gonna be like, I can't do it, and I won't do it. And that's when it's totally acceptable to buy digital. But anyways, this is the list that I'm gonna try to get done this year. And I'm pretty sure, like I said, a lot of these games are $20 to $30, most of them. So it's very possible for me to get this list done before the end of the year. Because I know there's other games coming out, you know, AAA title games, big studios, and I'm gonna get to that point where I'm like, do I want to get this one? Or do I want to get 2 of these for the price of 1, you know? That sort of thing. So, you know, once I'm on vacation, I'm going to have plenty of money. If I run into any of these games while we're out there, I'll probably pick a few of them up. But we'll see. Like I said, if I didn't mention a game that you think should be on this list, especially if it's an indie game, let me know down below so I can check it out and probably add it to the list. And I'll give you credit for it. So anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.